probably match him for movement. I have to.
Joseph Parker's call-out of Usyk smells of desperation, not determination. Joseph Parker's sudden pursuit of Oleksandr Usyk reeks less of confidence and more of desperation. After years of avoiding the Ukrainian southpaw, Parker is now loudly claiming he wants the fight, but fans aren't buying the performance. He had his opportunity and chose Tyson Fury instead. Now in a flurry of accusations, Parker alleges Usyk is the one ducking him to chase Fury. The irony couldn't be more blatant. Let's not rewrite history. When the
I believe in my ability and what I can do in the ring. I have full confidence that give me a good camp or give me some time to put in the work with Andy Lee and George Lockhart. Want to come up with a good game plan. Probably different to everyone else's one.
Timing was perfect. Parker sidestepped Usyk. Now that the heavyweight landscape is shifting and spotlight scarce, he's scrambling to reinsert himself into a conversation he left behind. Meanwhile, Usyk is locked in, focused on legacy. His latest public challenge to Fury, a trilogy to settle all debates, shows who's really calling the shots. Parker, on the other hand, is yelling from the sidelines. He's not being avoided. He's just not a priority.
I beat him. I'll reign all the belts I should never have lost. And then I'll fight the Dubois.
The heavyweight division has moved on. Even seasoned voices in the sport are starting to weigh in. Johnny Nelson seems genuinely baffled by the chaos, while Duke McKenzie doesn't mince words. McKenzie sees Parker's antics not just as poor judgment, but as a betrayal of everything he once stood for.
Fighter might make you stronger, might make you fit. It doesn't make you a better fighter. That's proof. You know, so until
Parker had the trust of fans and mentors alike, and now he's squandering it with hollow callouts and victim narratives. McKenzie puts it bluntly. Parker dodging Usyk when it mattered most wasn't strategy, it was a stain. And now that Parker wants back in, it feels less like ambition and more like damage control. Adding to the circus is Tyson Fury, who re-enters with his usual fire. In a typically brash outburst, Fury reasserts himself as the only man to have really beaten Usyk, a claim that sparks controversy but grabs attention. Whether you believe Fury or not, one thing is clear. He's still at the epicenter of heavyweight boxing. Parker, he's just trying to get noticed from the periphery. Fury's message
in my book. But you know what? I also think that, you know, what he's done is it's like a...
isn't just loud. It's raw, unapologetic, and oozing with the pressure and pride that come with being at the top. Parker, despite his recent run of form, hasn't operated under that level of scrutiny. He talks a big game, but he hasn't walked into that kind of fire. Enter Andy Lee, Parker's coach, attempting to reframe the narrative. According to Lee, Parker has evolved, correcting past flaws, especially those rhythm gaps Usyk could exploit. But here's the truth. No amount of fine-tuning prepares you for Usyk's level. The Ukrainian isn't just a tactician, he's a ring genius, dismantling elite opponents with consistency, not tweaks. Lee's optimism sounds more like a trainer selling a dream than assessing reality. While Parker may have improved, he's still far from the kind of sustained dominance Usyk has shown. Parker's resurgence...
One man who can beat him. I've done it twice before, and the world knows it. I've been fucked, good and proper, without any Vaseline on. And I've took it like a man. And here's me, not fucking around at some boxing match. I'm out on the fucking road running.
Has been good, not great. And greatness is the baseline when facing someone like Usyk. Now Parker's turning up the volume, declaring he's got the belief, the plan, and the people around him to pull off the upset. But belief doesn't win fights, especially not against a man who breaks opponents mentally and physically, who lures them into his rhythm and then destroys theirs. Parker claims he'll bring a different strategy, but that's what every contender says before they step into Usyk's matrix and come undone. And let's not forget, after his win over Zhilei Zhang, Parker had momentum. Instead of chasing Usyk then, he paused. Now he acts like the world owes him the opportunity. Usyk, meanwhile, is chasing history. He's not interested in detours or side quests. And Parker's recent surge, while respectable...
I agree, and are you going to be calling for this fight next once Usyk has been given his flowers?
I want it next. You can enjoy this time, and I hope you can give me the opportunity to share the ring.
Doesn't elevate him to equal footing. Frank Warren puts it plainly, Parker is the mandatory challenger. But that status doesn't mean fans or critics see him as the challenger. His rise back to contention feels more like a product of favorable matchmaking than ruthless dominance. Usyk, by contrast, has consistently faced and defeated the best. If this fight happens, it won't be because Parker demanded it. It'll be because the system aligned in his favor, rankings, not relevance. And that's what makes this potential matchup feel so one-sided from the outset. Parker isn't just fighting Usyk, he's fighting a perception problem. He has to convince fans, critics, and even himself that he belongs in the same ring with a generational fighter. Then comes the wild card, Roy Jones Jr., who offers the most surprising twist yet by backing Parker. According to Roy, Parker has the speed
and what I can do in the ring. I have full confidence that give me a good camp or give me some time to put in the work with Andy Lee and George Lockhart. Want to come up with a good game plan, probably different to everyone else's one. And
combinations and chemistry with Andy Lee to make the Usyk fight compelling. Roy may be right that Parker presents an intriguing stylistic matchup. Parker's speed versus Usyk's movement could result in a cerebral chess match. But that's where the intrigue ends and the realism kicks in. Being good isn't enough against a fighter like Usyk. It takes more than speed and training camp adjustments. It takes greatness, sustained, proven, and battle-tested. Roy Jones sees potential, but potential doesn't beat perfected technique. And while Parker's improvements are genuine, they haven't come against opponents operating at Usyk's level. Since the Joyce loss, Parker has rebuilt, yes, but rebuilding and ruling are not the same. Parker's confidence at this point feels less like conviction and more like a sales pitch. He's trying to sell fans on the idea that he's next.
Dubois or Usyk win, Parker's getting his shot.
He is the mandatory, and we'll see what happens then. Let's just get it all out of the way. But they're all in good positions. All our guys, we work very hard, and all of them they're either mandatories or interim champions.
But the public knows better. He's still chasing shadows in a division where Usyk and Fury are defining eras. In the end, Parker can talk all he wants. But while Usyk and Fury are locked in legacy battles, Parker remains on the outside, shouting louder but not shining brighter. Joseph Parker wants Usyk, but the world isn't listening. Pedigree matters. Oleksandr Usyk has faced killers, dismantled undefeated champions, and thrived under the brightest lights. He's a proven elite, a generational talent. Joseph Parker, he's only just clawed his way back into the conversation. On paper, a Parker versus Usyk clash might sound intriguing. But let's not kid ourselves. Usyk would enter as the overwhelming favorite. Eddie Oladipo said what most are thinking. Parker's callouts are loud, but they're falling on deaf ears. Why? Because we've heard it all before, the same recycled sound bites, the same scripted I want the smoke energy that never quite matches the moment. Oladipo admits the matchup is interesting in theory, but even he doubts it'll materialize. And he's not alone. Unless something drastic shakes the division.
Why? Because he's not a big heavyweight. He's quick, he throws combinations, he has a great trainer with him now in Andy Lee, and he's more comfortable than I've ever seen him in his whole career. And so I think that is actually a
vision like Dubois shocking the world or Fury retiring. Parker's cries for a title shot feel more like noise than inevitability. He's not the next man up, he's just another contender shouting into the void. And let's be honest, public interest isn't exactly booming for this matchup either. Fans would much rather see Usyk close out unfinished business with Tyson Fury or trade bombs with Deontay Wilder. The Parker-Usyk narrative feels manufactured, not earned. AD's subtle sarcasm in recent commentary underscores that very disconnect between Parker's ambition and his actual place in the heavyweight hierarchy. That said, Tony Bellew backing Parker might surprise some fans, but don't misread his support. Bellew's admiration doesn't stem from blind belief. It comes from his respect for fighters who bounce back from the edge. He sees something familiar in Parker's recent resurgence, having been the underdog himself. And to Parker's credit, his comeback has been impressive. He's strung together wins, rebuilt his image, and pushed his way back into the rankings.
Gonna fall on deaf ears?
Unfortunately, it will.
I appreciate the call out.
I appreciate that. I remember he did it with Dylan White and Anthony Joshua last year. And every one of them, they just get better and better. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I will say this now, right? I would rather see Parker versus Usyk than Dubois versus Usyk. I'll say it now.
Really?
I don't think we'll get Parker.
But let's not overstate the climb. His victories haven't come against top-tier monsters. Meanwhile, Usyk has made a career out of dismantling world-class operators in multiple weight classes. If Parker gets this fight, it's not because he earned his way into Usyk's world through sheer dominance. It's because the rankings timing, not terror, put him there. And if it happens, don't expect a 50-50th bout. Stylistically, it might be fascinating. But Parker enters not as a real threat, but as another challenger about to be added to Usyk's resume. Sure, Bellew's endorsement will give Parker a mental boost, But that won't mean anything once the bell rings and he's staring down a southpaw genius with footwork like a ghost and counters like a scalpel. Parker may want this fight, Bellew may want it for him, but Usyk, he's likely got bigger game in his sights. Now the pressure is real. Parker has maneuvered his way back to the top through resilience and smart matchmaking, but Usyk's on a different level.
Division knows Joseph Parker, so I'll just say that straight away now.
He gets his arm raised and he sails off into the sunset.
I think if this guy wins, he's literally done it all. He'll be.
Yeah. Would you want Joseph Parker's name on your ledger though?
I mean, maybe.
It's the last one,
possibly, maybe Parker's the only one, but
yeah.
I knowing him, he probably will. But if I was him, what he's done at cruiserweight, what he's done at heavyweight, he's cleaned out all the top guys, minus Joe Parker, because he hasn't had the opportunity yet. Now, I love Big Joe, but you would have to favour Usyk in a fight against Joe. If I'm Usyk, I don't even like this game. I hated this game. Yeah. I had to get out. I've done it. I've completed it. I've done it.
Yeah, do you know what? I might be making a U-turn now. I might be saying Parker, then retire.
Yeah.
Parker, then retire.
This isn't just another fight. It's a collision of manufactured momentum versus historical greatness. If Parker somehow pulls off the unthinkable and dethrones Usyk, the heavyweight division is turned upside down. Belts scatter, rematches ignite, and Parker becomes the most unlikely kingpin in modern memory. But if Usyk wins as most expect, he adds yet another name to his growing legacy and silences this latest noise with trademark precision. So here's the real question. Who wants it more? Is it Parker chasing validation and one last shot at glory? Or Usyk chasing history, legacy, and undisputed status? Mentally, physically, tactically, Usyk holds every advantage. But this is boxing. It's the land of madness, upsets, and chaos. And once the first bell rings, everything resets. It won't be about talk. It'll be about action. Man versus machine. Hope versus history. And depending on how it ends, the division may never look the same again. So here's your call. Are you backing the master technician Oleksandr Usyk to extend his reign? Or does Joseph Parker have one last shock in him to rewrite everything we thought we knew? Drop your thoughts below, because this one